Getting stuck is easy. Getting unstuck is not so easy, unless you know how. Whether it's personally or professionally, the steps to change are exactly the same. There's a clear-cut formula to living the life you want and deserve. Are you ready to make a change? It's easier than you think. Go to thehabitformulabook.com and get yourself a free copy. Remember, you don't even have to read it. Just do the exercises at the end of each chapter. If you want me to hold your hand, upgrade your order to the premium course. These principles are the same steps I took to work 25% less and make 30% more. If you seriously want to change something in your life, thehabitformulabook.com will show you how. And get yourself a free copy or upgrade to the premium course for even better and faster results. And get unstuck today. thehabitformulabook.com.
Hey everybody, you know what time it is. It's lunchtime with the Habit Master. I am Dr. Stephanie Aldrich, and I help people change their bad habits. You can do that both professionally and personally so that you can make 2019 the best year ever. So I want to welcome everybody to Thursday. It's the end of my week. A lot of you guys have one more day left, but tomorrow's creation day for me, where I am creative and write and do all kinds of fun things. Today's topic is a very important topic. It's a topic that, not everybody gets enough of it, but it's very important for our mental and physical productivity and efficiency during the day, and that's sleep. Okay? Before we get started, I want to remind everybody, prices go up tomorrow on the Habit Formula products. So if you want to grab your free copy, you can today and pretty much any time. Go to thehabitformulabook.com and grab yourself a free copy of the ebook. If you want to dive deeper into this material, upgrade your order and grab one of my courses. I can guarantee it's going to drastically change any of the results that you're getting, both professionally or personally. It's the same steps. All you got to do is do things for your career or do different things for your personal life. So it all is the same stuff. And it's the same exact thing that I did to take myself 2 years ago from being 20 pounds overweight, now I'm not, to also changing my dental practice from working 4.5 days a week to now I'm down to 3, making more money and working less time. If you want to know the secret, grab yourself a copy, thehabitformulabook.com. So I was looking online today about sleep, and I wanted to know what kind of sleep habits do Americans have. And according to the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, 20% of Americans have some type of sleep disorder, okay? And we're going to go over a few of what they entail in a couple minutes here. 27% of adults have trouble sleeping, and that's on a more continuous basis. It's not that, I had one night this month that I didn't sleep well, right? This is for people that they're just not sleeping at all, period, every night. I know my own mom suffers from some type of sleep disorder, and her sleep is just terrible, and she'll tell me that she got a couple hours of sleep and it wasn't restful sleep and she's tired, and the older we get, we need our sleep so that our body can rejuvenate itself, right? The nightly recommended amount of hours you're supposed to sleep is 7. Used to be 9 back in 1910. They used to get an average of 9 hours of sleep a night. Now we're down to a little bit less than 7. 35% of us do not get 7 hours of sleep. The goodbody.com website talked about some of the types of sleeping disorders and how many Americans have that. 60 million Americans, so that's a fifth of the population, have sleep insomnia, where they just can't fall asleep. They're just like this. They're counting sheep. They're doing whatever they got to do, and their mind just keeps going, right? Stress probably has a lot to do with that. Worries about work, about family issues, about life issues in general. Their mind, they can't seem to be able to shut it off. And we're going to talk about 5 ways today that's going to help decrease that likelihood that, you have some type of insomnia, okay? Because everybody needs to get their sleep. 22 million Americans have some type of sleep apnea. Now, this number I think is a lot higher because a lot of people haven't had a sleep study done and they don't know that they're not sleeping well, that, their airway is cut off and, they have some type of apnea going on. They haven't been diagnosed. So I think that number is actually even higher. They just haven't been properly diagnosed. 12 million Americans have restless leg syndrome, and I'm not quite sure what that's all about, but I think that their legs constantly have maybe tingles in them, maybe achiness. I don't know if that has to do something with a pinched nerve, I have no idea. But 12 million people suffer from restless leg syndrome, and that keeps them up at night. They can't get the sleep that they need. You need at least 7 hours of sleep a night to let your body relax and to regroup, right? Studies show that the lack of sleep also is associated with an increase in obesity. And I think this is, one of the reasons is that, when you're laying around watching TV, eating chips all night, right? You can't sleep because you still have energy. You're putting tons of carbs, sugary things, drinking the pop, eating the chips. That's all carbohydrates, right? And your body can't process all that stuff. So then it makes it into fat, right? And you gain weight. You're also not burning off those calories. So then you can't sleep at night because you have excess energy in your body that you've put there by eating the crappy stuff. So that's probably why obesity is linked to people that can't sleep, because they're getting all of that energy by the terrible foods that they're eating, and they're not spending that energy, and then they're lying awake in their beds at night being like, hey, what's going on here? I can't fall asleep. The people in the age group of my age group, so Generation Xers, between the ages of 45 and 54, they get the least amount of sleep of all age groups. Probably one of the reasons is this is the most productive time that they've found. We have the most stress because we're still raising families. If not, the families are just gone and the kids are in college, and you got to pay for college or get their lives going, and you have your career. This is the time in your career that you're settled. You're at a pretty high level of in your career, in your company, and you've got a lot of responsibility, right? You've got a lot of stress, worry, and things that you have to do. You have to be productive. You have to be efficient. There might be, maybe you're managing a lot of people because you have worked your way up into a management level or an executive level, and you're responsible for a lot of other things. So I think because it's high responsibility, it's high anxiety, that's why my generation Xers, people that are now between the ages of 45 and 54, aren't getting enough sleep. And that's a terrible thing to do. We have to get our sleep, right? We have to get our beauty rest and make sure that we're not getting wrinkles and all kinds of bad stuff. 75% of people who suffer from depression also suffer from sleep disorders. I don't know if there's an association. I didn't have time to look it up. If maybe the depression medication that they're on has some side effects, because it does, a lot of times it the depression medications fuse with the serotonin levels, which can maybe cause anxiety or anxiousness at night, and maybe that's why people can't sleep. It could be that they can't turn off their minds because they're worrying about something, and that might be why they can't sleep. But I don't know. I couldn't find any good studies on that either. 20% of all serious car crashes are associated with being sleepy. This is a terrible thing that you have to really watch out for, especially if you're driving at different times of the day. So real early in the day or at night, you got to be careful. Not only people in cars and trucks and SUVs, but also the semis. If those guys are tired, they're supposed to only drive for X amount of hours. They have to log the time that they're in. But it's very important that those guys are not distracted in driving because they're tired. Because if you go up against a semi and you're in a car or an SUV or a truck, guess who's winning? It's definitely not you. It's the truck. And you just make sure that if you see somebody swerving, get the heck out of the way. Pass them, get away from them, because more than likely they're either texting and not paying attention, or they could be sleep deprived and groggy. They're falling asleep at the wheel. It's not just, accidents aren't just related to, drugs and alcohol problems. Sleepiness is a big, big issue. And 20% of all serious car crashes are caused from drivers that are sleep deprived. The one statistic that I thought was interesting and a little scary and a little sad and needs to be fixed is that 9 million Americans take some type of sleeping pill. It's a prescription sleeping pill. It's not, I'm taking melatonin or I'm taking, whatever, all the supplements that are out there. These are actually prescription drugs that a doctor, a physician has prescribed for them so that it will make them sleepy. And I think that's a statistic that hopefully these 5 things can get people off of the medications and, allow them to be restful at night and get the sleep that they really need. So I looked up the question on Google, right? We Google everything in our life. I was like, well, why really do we sleep? Like, what is the medical study that says why we have to sleep? Why is it that you feel like crap if you pull an all-nighter, let's say, you're working on a project, or maybe you're a student, you're in school. I can't tell you how many all-nighters I pulled because there was so much information that I had to learn, especially being in the medical field. And, we used to pull all-nighters all the time. And man, I would feel like crap, okay, all the time, because it would mess up my sleep. And I'm one of those people that I definitely need at least 6 hours. 7 or 8 is even better, right? Weekends, if my son and husband let me sleep in, man, I'm getting a good 8 or 9, and I feel awesome, right? Why is it that you feel awesome after a good night's sleep, and when you don't, you feel like crap? So the only thing I could find is that there's no conclusive study, because, we can't deprive a person of sleeping. When we study animals, they usually end up dying because they haven't had sleep. And it's just not a good way to, how do you study someone's sleep, right? They think that why we sleep is it's time for the body to repair itself, and especially the brain. So when you're learning new things during the day, you meet someone new, you're connecting new neural cells, which are called neurons, together. That takes energy for those connections to physically form, right? It's not just a chemical formation, it's also a physical formation. Just think of a wire connecting 2 pieces of, 2 marbles, let's say. Your brain needs to physically grow that string that's connecting those marbles, which are the neural cells, right? The neurons. And then it can fire the chemicals, and that creates memory. Okay? Well, that takes a lot of energy to do that. And scientists think that during sleep, The body also can repair itself, can build protein, can fill the mitochondria, which is basically your motor parts of your cells, can build up the energy that it needs to do its thing, right? They think that also the brain, while it's trying to, be perceptive and take in all of the things that it takes in every day from all of your senses, right? That it needs that extra time to kind of process everything, to build all of the neural connections in the neurons, and it needs energy for that, and it kind of steals energy from everywhere else in the body so that it can do that. So sleep really is a time of rejuvenation for your body and for your brain, and we need it. You can't go without sleep. I know in dental school and also my friends in medical school, they would be on crazy shifts, right? Because a hospital never closes, right? And they would have to train themselves to take a quick nap, get some rest here and there. They wouldn't be on a normal sleep schedule. And these guys, I know for myself, I want my surgeon to be well rested. I want, the doctor that is going to be handling my medical issue to be well rested, because when you're not, your mental faculties are definitely inhibited and don't work as well, I would say optimally, as they do, when you're well rested. So being sleep deprived is definitely an issue that we need to solve in this country. So 5 ways to sleep better. These are easy things that everybody can do starting tonight. I know when I was in school, I always had trouble sleeping. Even probably, actually it was probably right around when my son was born. After that, I sleep like a freaking baby. And I think it's because I'm more active. I'm not sitting on my couch as soon as I get home at night, right? I'm making dinner. I'm doing laundry. I'm, cooking something. I am active with him. We're doing homework together. We're outside playing a sport, or we're throwing the ball, or we're riding a bike, or, whatever, playing some basketball. We're also doing taekwondo now, which I wasn't doing before. So I'm physically doing things now that make me tired. So any pent-up worry or anxiety or even just energy that I have had during the day, I don't have that by the time I go to bed. When I go to bed, I'm out like a flippin' rock, okay? So here are 5 ways that hopefully you guys can sleep like rocks tonight. Decrease caffeine. Everybody gets wired, right? This also includes nicotine. I'll just put Nico. Nicotine, caffeine, anything that's a stimulant, you want to stay away from at least 6 hours before you go to bed. It takes 4 to 6 hours for your body to break down the stimulant bonds, chemicals that are in, that you're intaking. Some people I know, they can drink, a Diet Coke or a Coke or something right before bed and they can still sleep, okay? But that's not the majority of people. The majority of people, it does bother them. So make sure that if you need that stuff to wake up in the morning, great. But then that needs to be it for the rest of the day. You need to get that stuff out of your system so that when it's time to go to bed, your body feels ready for bed, okay? Melatonin is the chemical that your body produces to tell your brain that, hey, it's sleepy time, okay? So make sure you're not counteracting that by, doing some kind of stimulant, sugar, caffeine, nicotine, that kind of thing. Number 2, be active. This may be my mom's problem. She's not as active as she used to be. She sits and reads a lot, okay? So not only is her eyes and her brain being stimulated by the stories, by the brightness of the Kindle screen, but also she's sitting on her duff. It's not like she's working out or taking a walk and reading. She's sitting down with her feet up in a comfy position for hours at a time. I think that might be her issue. She takes the medication that, stimulates her, right? And then she can't fall asleep. You have to be active. This includes some type of exercise. Exercise will always make you feel better. It will get out the aggression, the worry, the stress, but it will also help to build muscle. Muscle takes a lot of energy, especially if it hasn't been worked for a while. It takes a lot of energy to repair itself. When you work out, you work too much and then you're sore, you're actually tearing the muscle, and it takes a lot of energy out of you for your body to repair itself. And that's a good thing, because then you're going to sleep, okay? So be more active when you come home from work. Everybody's tired. A lot of times I just want to sit down and not do anything, but try to make it a point tonight that you're not going to sit down on the couch or in your favorite chair and relax until at least 8 o'clock tonight. If you can even go to 9, that's even better. My son goes to bed around 9. After that, it's lights out for me. Like, I am sitting down. I might watch, last night I was watching the Indians game, reading a little bit, and then I was done after that. Be active. If they have a soccer game or whatever, don't just sit there and not do anything and watching them. You could be standing. You could be, maybe walking around the park or something while they're doing their soccer stuff, right? You don't have to be sitting on your duff. Don't be reading something sitting. Be more active. Take a class. Get involved with something. Get into a hobby where that gets you out of the house and gives you something to do. So when you're active, you're going to get rid of all that stuff that's in your system, all the nutrients that you've accumulated in your food, and it's going to help you sleep better. Number 3, be consistent with your time that you go to bed. Your body loves routine. It gets used to going to bed at the same time, right? When you're more consistent with your bedtime, you will find that you sleep better, because your body knows that, hey, I'm using up all my energy, all the vitamins and minerals from the food at a certain time, and then it's like, okay, now I can rest and rejuvenate, right? You have to make sure you keep on a consistent time for your bedtime, and you'll notice that when you do that, you'll sleep better. I know even during the summertime, we try to keep the same schedule for my son. Once in a while, we'll let him stay up a little bit longer. But it seems like when we do that, he still wakes up at the same time. His body's used to it. He's like, hey, it's 7:30. Hey, it's time to get up, right? Be consistent. When you see that, you're going to feel better, and your body's kind of going to know what to do with itself, okay? Also, I had in here with your bedtime, you have a natural rhythm called the circadian rhythm, and when you alter this rhythm, you alter your bedtime, your body doesn't produce the melatonin as it would if you keep more consistent. So the melatonin makes your brain say, hey, I'm sleepy. We need to, start shutting down the plant, right? Be consistent, and that helps to keep your levels of melatonin where they're supposed to. You want to make sure that they're higher when it's time to go to bed. If you're messing with stuff and you're trying to keep yourself up, that is going to mess up your natural defense of sleepiness, which is your melatonin levels. Okay? Number 4, get rid of electronics. I'll just put decrease electronics. This includes reading, okay? This includes TV. This includes iPads and iPhones. You need to allow your brain to relax. You need to, all these things are bright, and brightness kind of awakens your body and says, hey, it's still daytime, we got to do stuff, right? When it's darker, your body naturally wants to shut itself down. got to get rid of these electronics. You shouldn't have any electronics at least a half an hour to an hour before bed. Okay? I know I'm even guilty of that. Sometimes I won't necessarily want to watch anything on my iPad, but sometimes I want to read something, and usually, I mean, that puts me to sleep in 2 seconds. No matter what, I'm conking out, right? I'm dozing off, my head's bobbing. That's okay. If your head's bobbing, it's time for bed then. Okay? So try, especially for the little guys, you don't want to stimulate them, having them watch some kid's show and, you know, they're all excited and giggling and all of that right before bed. They need to be calmed down. So this goes for anybody. Try to get rid of your electronics. Try to calm things down. Make sure the brightness on your screen is also lower so that you're not stimulating anything in your brain. And the fifth way to help you get some more Z's, get some more sleep tonight, is set your bedroom environment. I'll put environment. And what do I mean by that? I mean, you want to make sure that there's not a lot of stuff around your bedroom. It's clean. It's cozy. Everything is soft. Your bed is soft. It's warm. You've got warm blankets in there. Maybe heavier blankets, right? You want to keep the temperature of the room really, really cool, okay? They suggested anything 70 or lower because people tend to sleep better. But you're cozy in your warm bed, right? But then everything around you is a little bit cooler. It's clean. It smells fresh in there. You don't have a lot of noise. It's very dark in there. Make sure you have blinds on the windows or drapes or something that can make any light coming through very, very dark. When you do that, your body signals that, hey, it's time to rest. We're going to amp up the melatonin, and your brain says, okay, I'm shutting down. I got to do my thing, right? It's the janitor. It's the custodian. It needs to clean out all the toxic byproducts that it's made. It needs to make connections between neurons, and it needs to borrow whatever energy it uses from our body, and the body itself needs time to repair and rejuvenate also. So those are 5 ways that hopefully can help you. All 5 of them have helped me, and I know if you do all 5 of them, they will definitely help you get a better night's sleep tonight. So make sure your bed's comfy, it's cooler in there, and stay away from the stuff that you're not supposed to have, and that should help you with your sleep habits. So let's go over the 5 ways that I saw, and there's other ways too, but these ones I thought were really important. 5 ways to get a better sleep. Number 1, decrease the stimulants. So sugar, nicotine, caffeine, anything that's going to ramp you up, try to get rid of them at least 6 hours before bedtime. Number 2, be more active. Go for a walk. Don't just sit down after work and sit on your butt for the next 6 hours before you go to bed. More than likely, you're not going to be tired. Be active. Do that load of laundry. Get the clothes done. Go play with the kids. Do something. Go join a class. Go to aerobics. Ride your bike. Do some yoga. Do something that's going to physically strain you and get out all of the worry and stress that you have in your head, okay? So be more active. That's going to make you tired. Number 3, be consistent with your bedtime. It allows your body to get into its own rhythm to produce the melatonin that your brain needs to shut down the company, okay? To shut everything down so that you can get some sleep and rejuvenate. Number 4, decrease your electronics. So anything that you're watching, talking on the phone to your friend, looking at your iPad, reading something, you want to make sure that if you are doing something that the screen brightness is down, but you want to just relax a little bit, not think of anything, not be stimulated by anything. You need to decrease those electronics, and especially for kids, at least a half an hour before bed. If you can do an hour, that's even better. And the 5th thing to help you sleep better tonight is set the environment. You don't want a lot of clutter in your bedroom. You want to have a nice comfy bed and pillow. You want it to be warm in the bed, but cooler in the room. So set the temperature under 70 degrees, and that should do it. So that's it for me today. It's a Thursday. I hope everybody gets an awesome night's sleep. I know I will. I usually don't have any issues now getting sleep because I do all of these things. I don't drink any caffeine. I'm off of pretty much all refined sugar now. I don't smoke, so that's not a problem. I'm always active. I'm doing something. I'm consistent with my bedtime. Usually 11 o'clock is when I sleep. I don't do a lot of electronics, and my room is always cool, and my bed is very comfy. So I hope these 5 things help you to have an awesome night's sleep tonight. I want to remind you that prices go up tomorrow for my courses. So if you want to grab a free copy, go to thehabitformulabook.com. It will help you get good habits, sleeping habits. I mean, think of any habit that is bad for you, and I set you up on course so that it makes it easy for you to change anything that's not serving you and your lifestyle. If you want to upgrade, prices go up tomorrow, so upgrade today. That's it. The introductory prices are done. I hope everybody has a great night. Get a good night's sleep because that's what we talked about today. If you want to catch the podcast, go to iTunes or Spotify and get, download the episodes with Lunchtime with the Habit Master. Also, I just uploaded 3 new videos yesterday on my YouTube channel. It's lonely over there. I only have 6 subscribers, although people are looking at stuff, but they're not subscribing. So make sure you go to Stephanie Aldrich, the Habit Master YouTube channel. And that's it for me today. Let's make sure we build good habits together. I'll see you guys tomorrow.